What's going on, everyone? My name is Cynic and welcome to another Battle Mode video. Doom Eternal's Battle Mode is fun, it's different, it's very challenging, especially when you're playing as a Slayer. You know, you're trying to balance your ammunition, you're trying to balance your health, your armor, you're trying to keep the pressure on both player-controlled demons while also trying to survive the hordes of demon spawn that they're putting on you while they themselves are trying to put pressure on you. There's a lot going on here. It can be overwhelming, it can be confusing, it can be frustrating, and with today's video, I'm going to try to make things a little easier. Now, in a previous video, I've already covered the very basics when playing as a Slayer, from how to utilize handlebars, taking advantage of portals, your dash is your best friend. It's very basic stuff, but I feel like it lays the groundwork on how to become a better Slayer, and if you're interested, I will leave a link to that down in the description. You can also click on the little eye icon in the top right hand corner to check that video out. Also, you know, typical YouTuber bullshit, if you do go on to enjoy the video or find it helpful at all, consider dropping a like, as well as maybe consider subscribing for some future Doom content. Now, with that salad stuff out of the way, let's get started. Now, the very first thing is, again, I want to cover the fundamentals here. When entering the game, you got to remember, or you got to take a look at the demon arsenal, their abilities, and what they have at their disposal. The very first thing to remember is that regardless of whatever demon they're picking, every demon controlled player has the ability to loot block you. Loot blocking is when they deny you health, armor, and ammunition when killing a non-player controlled demon. If you kill a player controlled demon, loot blocking does not affect that. With that in mind, not only against player-controlled demons, I recommend using the Flame Belch as much as possible, but specifically when they're loot blocking you and starving you of resources, I would say right before they die, hit them with the Flame Belch, that way they drop additional armor for you. But anyways, so the only ability that all the demons have across the board is loot blocking. After that, you're getting to the territory where the specific demon they pick is going to give you a basic idea of their default abilities, or their default attacks. The game refers to their attacks as abilities. To be honest, I don't want to cover this too much. I might actually save this part specifically for like a part 3, you know, and turn this into an overall series on how to become a bigger badass when playing as a Slayer, which might actually become a thing, because as you start playing more and more, you come across different play styles, from different demon combinations to how people play with a specific demon type. They could be pressuring you, they could be hanging back and just summoning things. So there's never really anything set in stone. It's all about knowing how to deal with their spawns, as well as trying to kind of isolate one demon over another. You know, that's venturing off into other territory. But anyways, in the meantime, what I would recommend is utilizing the tutorial inside of this game. They have a tutorial system that you can hop into. When you use that, it'll put you in the shoes of the specific demon, and that way you get an actual feel for the demon's movement and the ability at that specific demon's disposal. I think doing that will give you an overall general better idea of what that demon can do than just watching, you know, a YouTube video. I think a YouTube video would replace the actual understanding you would get by going through, you know, a 2-minute tutorial. But moving on, we're going to take a look at this image right here. This is a screen that every player is confronted with when they're getting ready to choose their demon. Why this is important is because right here, the abilities, this is the default stuff that every one of those demon types are able to perform. So as an example, in the Archvile's case right here, every Archvile you come across is able to jump, teleport, shoot a fireball, summon a flame wall, and conjure up a lake of fire. That will never change. Every Archvile has that in its arsenal. Yes, it's very important to keep that in mind, but what we're trying to identify here is the type of class that they chose. Are we dealing with an Agile Archvile, or are we dealing with a Summoner Archvile? And the reason why this is important is because once we identify the class that they picked, we're going to be able to understand the demons they're going to be able to summon up and the other abilities that they're able to utilize. In layman's terms, battle mode is very simple. They use fancy words like Agile, Summoner, Tanker, Support, Ranged, Pressure, Offensive, Defensive. To sum it all up, when you're up against demons, you have two main classes. You have Offensive and you have Support. This will kind of be a little bit of an easier way to put it. You have 5 demons to choose from. Of those 5 demons, there's 7 potential demons that they can spawn, and on top of that, there's 2 or only 2 abilities they can choose from: a healing zone or a noxious zone. And interestingly enough, the game actually tells you very subtly what class they've chose. As an example, right here in this game, I'm against two Marauders. Now, obviously, starting the game up, I don't know if they're both ranged, if they're both pressure, if one is ranged, if one is pressure. If I'm dealing with a ranged class, then they're able to spawn in a noxious zone. If I'm dealing with a pressure class, they can spawn in a healing zone. Well, right here, the game automatically tells me because back-to-back, a Makyr drone and a Hellnight was spawned. Only the pressure class is able to spawn in Makyr drones and Hellnights. And seeing that these Makyr drones were spawned back-to-back, there was no cooldown. They both had to have spawned one in. This not only lets me know the two demons that both players can call in, but it also lets me know that if I let up the pressure at any point, either one of them can drop in a healing zone to help replenish their health. So if I'm not careful, I actually have to keep up the pressure on both of them. It's also a good idea to utilize the codex if you guys played the campaign, as the codex tells you the key to defeating each demon type. For instance, I know the Hellnight is made of quick work by the chain gun, and also the Makyr drone, its weakness is a headshot, especially by a precision shot. So now that I know the two classes I'm dealing with, I have a strategy. The chain gun is set for the Hellnight whenever I get rushed by one. If at any point I run low on ammunition or health, it would be a good idea to try and land a precision shot on a Makyr drone. At any point, either of these Marauders break off, there's a good chance they're running away to heal, so it would be ideal of me to chase after him with a rocket launcher. That way I don't have to actually run in direct contact with him. I can just attach the remote mod, fire, and in the center of the healing zone, just detonate it. And that example was a little too good to be true. I mean, I was able to identify the classes I was dealing with right from the start. But let's say, you know, they're not spawning in demons right in the beginning of the match. They're waiting until you come to them. And shit's hitting the fan. You're not able to see the log on your right-hand screen. I kind of had that happen to me in this match right here, where in this match, I'm facing a Marauder and I'm facing a Mancubus. This was also one of those situations where both hypes can spawn in a specific type of demon, even though both players chose a completely different demon type. So it's also a good idea to know the secondary demons that these demons are able to spawn. So as an example of what I'm trying to say here is, in this match I'm facing Arachnotrods, Carcasses, Makyr drones, and cacodemons. Arachnotrons can actually be spawned in both by Marauders and Mancubuses. Both types can also call in Makyr drones, and that's exactly what happened in this match. The Mancubus I was facing was spawning in Makyr drones. He was also spawning in cacodemons, which was what helped me identify the class that he was. But again, the Marauder that I was facing was also dropping in Makyr drones, and he was dropping in Hellnights. So right off the bat, both sides are actually playing aggressively. Neither one is able to spawn in healing zones. They're both able to actually shut off areas where I'm able to move, because, you know, if you move through a noxious zone as a Slayer, it's going to continuously hurt you for the 4 seconds that it's up. And truthfully, I wish I realized during that match, because I remember in the back of my mind, once I killed a demon, I was rushing the other demon, making sure he wasn't healing, but I wasn't aware that he didn't have the ability to even heal. I should have been taking advantage to hang back, gain some health and armor for myself, and then when the other demon spawns in, chip away at both their health simultaneously. I kind of screwed that up there. Anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. I'm going to leave the demon combinations in terms of healing and noxious zones and the type of demons that they can spawn in the description. There's, again, 5 demons to choose from. 7 different demons can be conjured up based off of 2 different classes. So there's a lot of different variations. I didn't want to cover every single one in a video because that just seemed redundant. You can, you know, look at that stuff yourself in the loadout. I just wanted to provide the emphasis on why would it be important to know the class that they're choosing, because it allows you to understand the demons you're facing and whether if the person you're up against is playing aggressively, completely forgetting that they can heal, or playing a little bit more defensively or as a support role where they can heal and can just hang back. I also wanted to, you know, remind you to utilize the codex and take advantage of the full arsenal that you're given as a Slayer. Remember, chain gun works wonders on the Hellnight. Carcass demons can be killed in a single blood punch. Makyr drones are made of quick work with the precision shot. You know, remember these tips. Above all else, do not panic and lose your head in the middle of this. I know it's easy to with all this stuff being thrown at you, but we'll get it down. Practice makes perfect. But hopefully these tips did help you guys out. If there's anything else you guys want to add to this, any corrections, I'm sure I'm about to have messed up somewhere. Feel free to share that stuff down in the comment section below. The most helpful comment, like always, will be pinned. But like always, guys, my name is Cynic. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did go on to enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop me a like, as well as maybe consider subscribing, as that helps not only myself, but the channel out. But until next time, my friends, I will see you all later.